Hello, y'all. It's 11:47 p.m. So, you know what? I probably should turn off the cause that sounds like it's louder. I need to tell the people at the front about it, or I don't know if it bothers y'all, but whenever I try to turn it off, it starts to get when I turn it off, it is I mean, I turn it off, and then when I turn it back on, then it start to be you know, start to make more noise than that, and then I have to keep trying a few times in order for it to get back to at least sounding normal. But that's getting louder and worse. But first off, I know people don't want me to name names, but I got a little bit of something, just a little bit of something today. But thank you for the help and the donations. Y'all know who y'all are. And tonight, this evening, I wrote a quick, very quick short story. Um, so, I mean, I wanted it to be longer, but it's all right. You know, I can write more Christian based short stories and stuff. But it helped me realize how sometimes we could be, you know, feel discouraged and lose faith temporarily over certain things that you know, that seem pretty much not worth your soul and not worth it in the end. And you know, I mean, wrote I wrote this the short story, you know, me kind of cuz this is more like the first time in a long time that I've been that heavily spiritually discouraged about something, and more like feeling I mean, so it's like when you feel like you ain't got nobody. I mean, when you feel like you ain't got nobody, but then you feel like want to just, you know, give up hope and stuff like that. But we gotta keep pushing, and I gotta tell myself to, you know, keep pushing and don't give up. And I have to remember what that person said. Why should God get the black eye for what people do? You know, if people treat you mean or turn against you, or and they're supposed to be Christian as well, and or you feel like you have a difficulty trying to wrap your head around why would somebody who said that they're Christian, why would they gang stalk you or be in on, you know, targeting you, and yet they say that they're Christian. And so I know a lot of Christian targeted individuals have a hard time trying to wrap that around their heads, around their minds and stuff like that. But then as time goes on and we grow in faith and grow in Jesus Christ, we end up having a better understanding, and it will make us stronger. Because I mean, I'm glad that I stuck with it. I'm still a Christian, and I'm glad that I didn't give up on Jesus, on the idea of, you know, professed Christians either turning against me or, you know, betraying me about certain things, or the fact that you try to talk to a so-called Christian community and get treated a certain way. So, because it make me feel really stupid to lose anybody, you know, who's supposed to be a Christian friend, and even more so, they're profess to be Christian and targeted. That made me scratch my head even more, because like I'm just, trying not to feel bad. But I mean, I was, with all those people, bashing me and treating me mean, made me feel like as if I don't have a right to be a Christian, or they made me feel like as if I'm not welcome to be part of the body of Christ or anything like that. So I just, within the past few days, just felt highly spiritually discouraged. But I don't want to turn away from Jesus Christ, and I'm not going to, because of people. I mean, people who you think would even be like supposedly people who you would supposed to be Christian, who wouldn't even one of the last people who you would think would people who you think would be the strongest in their faith, and the last people to be betray you or turn against you or misunderstand your intent and take you the wrong way and get mad at you or something like that, any kind of way, so if you feel like you ain't got nobody and feeling all depressed and alone and stuff like that, I mean, I'm sorry I keep talking about it, but it helped me feel better to get all these feelings out rather than bottling everything in it and then going crazy. So that's what part of the reason why I, you know, did that short story, because I've heard stories about other people, um, been treated so badly by, if it's not a so-called, you know, I mean, if somebody's treated so badly by a so-called Christian church full of people, and then that some of them turn atheists and some of them turn out all out Satanists. But I've had my spiritual discouragements in the past. I've talked about my story about Lisa Ruby and Tracy Broadhurst and backslid big time. And then, even had been like highly lukewarm for a long time and feeling like struggling. But a lot of times when I try very hard to make it up in my mind to try to serve Jesus and then try to fellowship with other so-called Christians and then be shunned and attacked so heavily, and then it's like a shock and a psychological and mental trauma and spiritual trauma as well. So I have been just like discouraged and but trying to get back up. And even in the targeted community, if even people who say that they're Christian and targeted, and then they huddle together and have me blocked on Twitter without cause, and it'll be make me want to pull my hair out and stuff. But I'm still a Christian. Well, I'm still believing the Bible. I still have my heart on Jesus and stuff like that, and I don't want to turn away from him. But I realized that witches in church and stuff like that too, and wolves in sheep's clothing, they are probably paid by Satan. Not all of them, but I guess some of them are paid by Satan and Satan's agents to destroy real Christians' faith, or people Christians who have the heart to sincerely try to better themselves. You know, rather than somebody who's just actually just pretending just for show. You know, but it's very hard, this battle of doing it alone, and then the idea of being targeted and basically feeling like I ain't got nobody to talk to. And then, you know, you try to go on any targeted individual forum or social media, and everybody's answer is just to ignore. And then they be the popular fakes in that fake TI perp cult who just say ignore. And then they say it without, I mean, they don't say it in a way that they care about your suffering. They just say ignore like it's a big deal. I mean, I meant to say it like it's no big deal. They just say ignore. They'll say ignore and move on. Like very insensitive. But then they'll be the first ones who show their faces in the whatever TI Day rallies and documentaries, and the first to want to march to the UN, first want to go protest and everything, but then they're the ones who trying to tell you to ignore everything and then try to downplay the seriousness of your suffering. So it's like I know I'm just feeling psychologically, mentally, and emotionally and spiritually, confused and lost and scared at all, and just having like emotions that I can't even describe. But I'm still trying to cling on and hold on. But wolves in sheep's clothing, it seems like they're planted there to be designed to turn you away from Jesus Christ and have your soul in hell. But some people, other people, they have totally turned away from Jesus. Or sometimes they'll, even if it's not turning away from Jesus, sometimes, you know, somebody might get mad and quit their job over a certain kind of situation. But I just saw this. I didn't look at the video, but I saw a video suggestion for a YouTube video about a young white boy. He looked like he was about 10 or 11 years old. And, well, he was a kid, but adults would, get certain kind of mad at certain situations or whatever too, and just quit something or give up on something, or, for whatever reason. But this boy, he got mad and ran away because his mom took his cell. I don't want to get the story mixed up, but he got mad and ran away because his mom took his parents took his cell phone away or something like that. And so then he ran away, and then come to find out he died. And then some people suggest that the boy went and committed suicide. I'm like, well, damn, that's extreme right there. But there were, I guess I've been reading the Bible more often lately than I had been for a little while. Even in 2017, I remember I was reading the Bible a lot and praying. But it seemed like the closer I try to get to God, or whenever I try, it seemed like so-called Christians attack me even harder and make me feel more discouraged. Some people say it's to test your faith and stuff like that. Or, when I very first decided to want to become a Christian, I ended up getting raped the next day by a Freemason. I'm pretty sure I talked about that before. So and then the church betrayed me and turned against me. The fake pastor went behind my back and falsely accused me of being a prostitute and everything like that. Smear campaigned me, and he was having an affair with the lady who came into the church, and then he cheated on his girlfriend with her, and that lady was married, that Illuminati lady Melinda. And then next you know, he couldn't be the pastor no more. So it's like me doing my YouTube videos and also me writing, it's my therapy to help prevent me from losing my mind and going crazy and giving up, whether it be giving up spiritually or physically. I'm trying to help prevent that, knowing that with this targeted program is what they're designed to do, and the perps really think it's funny. And then the scarcity of real Christianity is the reason why so-called Christians can't even love each other nowadays. And so it's like everybody's lukewarm and brainwashed. Not everybody, but so many people are lukewarm and brainwashed, but some people are waking up to the truth about things, about how everything is and stuff like that. But a lot of so-called, what you call conspiracy theories, is foretold in the Bible. So, especially with the end times. But a lot of so-called Christians yell at you about conspiracy theories and then say you shouldn't be focused on that. But they're the same ones who cancel church and following the COVID program, and probably would be the same church that probably would be the same church that would be set up for vaccinations or something like that, or anything else with the New World Order government. And the majority of churches are sold out. They sold their congregation out, and even the smallest churches are 501c3 and act cult like, and you ain't got no friends. And then I've seen documentaries or certain videos or movies about how if people try to, even before COVID-19, if Christians try to congregate in their homes like the old days, that they can get in trouble for that, like with the government or the police or something, that they're not even allowed to hold Christian meetings in their own homes. And then, I mean, because they're making like you have to have government permission to be able to preach and stuff, or you have to go to this theological seminary in order to and get a certain ordination, like getting ordained. So I don't even know if people have if they have to have a permit to be a street preacher, but I know we women, we're not supposed to be preaching. Only men supposed to preach. So but I have to remember about the idea of die to myself daily. How does it go? Deny deny yourself, take up your cross and follow Jesus. And the idea that, you know, if perps provoke me and get me mad and stuff like that, I'm still trying to, strengthen up, because I heard that, time's gonna get worse. And then if lack of technology, we won't be able to talk to, I mean, some other targeted friends or Christian friends, because not everybody is targeted is a Christian. The majority of them aren't. But then there's a lot of Christians who aren't targeted. But if you both targeted and Christian, some people say that that's what that's the true definition of persecuted individuals, being persecuted. So being targeted and Christian, if you want to lie and say that, I mean, people want to lie and say that there's no persecution, no Christian persecution in America. Yes, there is. Because I've heard that people who try to preach on Bourbon Street, I saw a documentary where people try to preach on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and got arrested for it. And I know we got to get stronger and get better, and be willing to die, die for our faith, especially in harder times. Because I really sure don't want to be wearing a mask. I'm not getting a vaccine and stuff like that. And I'm not selling my soul for 1,400 if we got to get the vaccine before the you, you know before the 1,400. But one thing I want to talk about before I go is my fears of, me being street homeless. We can't, I mean, for if I'm back on the streets and then time comes where there's another lockdown, and for before people want to call me materialistic, hey, I'm a female, okay? So I might need to go in my storage unit and have, get some, menstrual pads and stuff like that. So stuff like that would, I'm wondering how am I going to get this done, or if I'm street homeless, or even if I'm living here. Well, I mean, I have some pads right here, but certain things or certain items I might need. And who's to say if there's another lockdown, I might not even get to have the money to be here, and other people might be strapped for cash or strapped for money and can't help another person because everything might be just so bad, So, I mean, but just because I know the Bible says you're not supposed to trust in man and stuff like that, but people always throw that in my face, and then they make it like as if just because you would like to have Christian friends or a Christian fellowship with other Christians, you know, I mean, are we, if the Bible talks about Hebrews 10 and 24 through 25, but then at the same time, some people make like you're supposed to do this alone, you know. So in case something crazy happens, I can't stay here longer on this video. So I have to get off this video and save my phone some space. So thanks for listening. I love y'all and bye.